Man, what's up everybody? A very emotional video, just has a lot of feelings in it, and honest to God truth, the scariest thing any men can come in and get locked up and be worried about, you know? And this situation happened to me when I first got locked up. And so here's a part 2 of being turned out in prison. My story with it, the true emotional, scary details of it. And let's get into it, man. So, being turned out in prison is a very laughable, jokeable thing that's been around forever. To joke about, you know, dropping the soap. But to all the people that have been victimized, it does happen. And the only way, pretty much, you can avoid it is being violent and not getting locked up. So anyone that sees this story or hears about this, you need to very much think about doing time. Because if you're not built like that, and if you are not a violent person, you know, you can get raped. Honest to God. It's crazy. It's sad to all the people that have been, luckily, I avoided being assaulted. And that was honestly because of other cool, solid dudes that when I was young coming in at the start of my stuff, you know, didn't know about having to bring things to a level of violence and having to react. And luckily these guys stuck up for me and helped me, and it really saved me. It was the most scariest thing. So let's get in the video real quick. So when I caught my charges, my first breaking into cars, I was super young, man. I was very scrawny. I was using drugs. So just picture basically like 120 pounds of skin and bones. Little, you know. I grew up in a place where it wasn't violent. It wasn't crazy. So I get locked up. So I go in, I get locked up. For some reason, they classed me in a higher security level than I was to come to. And when I first got locked up, I was really scared, man. It's a process to go through booking, and just everything is stripped away from you. Your freedom, your clothes, your shoes, your wallet, your anything that you have as a normal person is pretty much stripped away. So I end up getting locked up. I get I get moved into a pod on lockdown. I come in, and it's actually an empty pod, an empty cell that I get into, right? And in these cells, there were actually 3 bunks, right? So actually 3 people could come in here, but in the unit I was at a higher security unit, you know, there wasn't anyone in this cell yet. And what this unit would have, so you can get an idea what kind of people would show up, was a prison transfer unit. So what I mean by a prison transfer unit is exactly what it sounds like. Basically, people that have cases or caught cases or for whatever reason need to come back to the jail, this is the unit they'll get transferred to, you know, wait pending, get their case done, do whatever, unappeal, whatever, and then go back to prison. Security, so basically anyone from prison that would have the different security tiers with prison would be in here. So you could have a level 4, level 5, even maybe a level 6 that's in seg. They could possibly go to seg, but this just gives you an idea of what kind of people that would come into. So I get into this cell. I'm really stressed out. I've never been to jail before at this moment. So I get locked up. I come out and meet a couple people, just whatever. Go back to cell lockdown. And I was a friendly person. I was a nice person, you know. So a cellmate, this nothing against race, I'll just explain how this African American came into the pod. And he moved into the cell. So I'm just a nice person whatsoever. Coming to find out that he wanted to assault me, you know. So I'm in the cell and he comes in, And when he comes in, you know, he's trying to act like a friend, buddy person, you know. But I'm green at this point. I don't know the difference from someone, you know, just being cool to, you know, someone trying to see if they can assault you and get away with it. So what a lot of people have to understand too is a lot of these predators are looking for someone that will just roll over and do it, right? Be fearful that they won't speak up. That's how they get away with it. Because if you don't speak up, then, you know, he has nothing to worry about. You know, the Prison Rape Elimination Act was huge, you know, and it's awesome that thing was there. It actually saved a ton of people that were in unsafe situations, and even my situation that they thought that possibly I could have been assaulted, they handled it very much so. And what was crazy is I didn't even say anything, but the other guys said something to address the situation. So was basically when me and dude are talking, right? I'm sitting on like a desk, right? There's a little metal desk, and I'm talking to get to know the dude. The dude, remember at this time I'm green, I'm new to prison, right? This dude sets his hands on my lap, right? And I push the dude, and I'm like, you know, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And that's when it clicked to me about all the stories you hear, and, you know, and dude just looked at me like whatever, you know. So at this time, like, I didn't go off and start, you know, fighting with the dude, right? So I get down to my bed, and this is the most scariest thing that I've ever dealt with, right? After that dude tried to make a pass at me, right? I pushed dude. I didn't get in a fight right there, right? He looks down at me and says, "Oh man, I'm not gonna rape you." This literally is told to me while I'm sitting in my bed, right? I'm told by this in a locked cell, a dude that's straight from prison and everything like that, right? This is a different situation scenario. How the other one, I knew how to act. So this time I'm scared. I know the dude's affiliated. I don't know what to do, but I'm not gonna get raped. You know what I mean? And if these other guys didn't step in, I don't know what would have happened to me, you know? So the next day I come out of the pod, and the homeboys come up, and you know, I tell someone, I'm like, yo, dude, try to do this and that and the third, and dude's affiliated, I don't know what to do, you know. So the homeboys, the boys, you know, the white boys in there were like, no, we got your back. Out of nowhere, dude's having a meeting with his gang buddies and everything like that in the gang, hearing that their homeboy is gay, you know what I mean? So there's gonna be a war, man. It's gonna pop off. It's crazy, you know what I mean? That stuff is not looked at as something cool in there. You know, if someone's gay and someone is into that, then it's oh, you know, it's whatever. But someone actually being attacked on, and a youngster like me, you know, it's not okay. So they call me over, dude, and there's 5 people in the cell, right? They're trying to figure out what happened, right? So I come into the cell, and dude open palms me. Bah! This was my first beginning into jail. This is what got me to where you need to fight when someone comes at you. You need to stand up, or you're gonna be victimized and attacked. So when dude open slaps me, right, I don't know what to do with a bunch of gang members. I'm new at this time. I'm green. I've never been locked up at this time. This was the beginning. So I literally walk out, right? When I walk out, dudes are pissed. They see that something happened to me, right? And that type of action would be okay if someone was lying, right? But come to find out, this older guy that's been in the pod, this thing happened to another guy, and the guy before me was actually raped by this guy. Swear to God. And so when he was very just doing his time in his cell, saw dude reacted fast. Cleared all the gangs, so the gang turned to dude, said, we don't mess with dude, we believe you. Other people were like, we saw dude, you know, victimize someone. Dude almost got victimized, and it saved me, dude. It was crazy, and, you know, put a big lesson in my head of what happened. You know, made me really think about not getting locked up, And if you are locked up, you need to go hard. You need to be that, you need to act, or you're going to get victimized. And luckily, I didn't get raped, you know. So, dude says, you're going to move out. And I said, okay, you know, these are seasoned convicts, you know what I mean? They got my back. He said, we're going to move you with another white boy, and we're going to handle it, right? So, how it works in prisons, right? If someone's affiliated, you have higher up people that make calls, right? So the white boy said, hey, your dude's victimizing and trying to, you know, rape a white dude. And last time there was a guy pulled out that he raped. And you're asking, how did the dude end up back into the pod? Well, there's so many people that get transferred to prison and everything like that, that people come and go so much that they lose track of, like, putting someone very violent and very in their own place. They just forget. So he goes to the and says, you know, dude, this and that. He came in this pod last time. This literally happened. They tried on one of our people, and dudes, you guys either need to beat this dude to the living shit, or let us do it. And they gave the green light. So when they gave the green light, the Crips basically outed this dude. So they were like, we're not backing you up at all. Basically, the white boys can do whatever they want to you, and we're not helping you. So, dude it was crazy to see the politics, like, come out right in front of me, because literally they're all in a circle, and homeboy knows not to talk to them. So then the white dude literally goes into the cell. I was getting taught in season, you know, not to look over the cells or see if something happens. And I just see the dude go to my cell and close the door behind me. And dude, I don't know what happened, but it scared the living shit out of this seasoned vet convict, dude. Because after dude came out of the cell, you know, I ended up actually moving in with that guy that was very affiliated and saved my life, you know what I mean? And saved me from being victimized and raped. He came out to me, he said, if dude looks at you anyway, if he looks at you, if he comes anything, he's gonna get smashed again. Or just he basically told me that if dude looks at me or says anything, that whatever he did is gonna happen again. And dude didn't have anyone he could fall back on. And I think the guy was worried that I got, you know, raped. And luckily I didn't, you know. But he took it very serious. And when time would go on, he would only be there about 3 or 4 days. Dude would only come to the table to eat. He looks forward, not even turning his head, nowhere. And it was crazy. It was like the tough guy and everything, it just like disappeared. So he would just look into nowhere, and he would just sit and look forward and do nothing. And so he went back to his cell, whatever he had done, and get back. And they actually had someone when they came and talked to me about the attack, and they were very, very trying to be comfortable. And it was a very traumatic, it was very scary. And shout out to the people that just help those youngsters that get locked up. And the moral of the story is, right, all the stuff you've heard from prison, yes, it does happen. And it can't just happen in just prison. It can happen in jail, right? You could be in there on some very low charges and still be attacked, you know? So just shout out to everyone that's been victimized, and my love that's out to all you guys.